I do love a garden tea party vibe. This one should be added to your list if you do too. The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and the Yummy of Afternoon Tea, Burlington edition. This summer we had afternoon tea for two guests at the Royal Botanical Gardens, which is in Burlington but very close to Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Shall we begin with the good? Of course we should. This venue is the good aspect here. You enter through the main visitor center and show them your tea reservation, which you've booked online in advance, and you don't have to pay the garden's entrance fee. Then you walk through the main building. There is a cute gift shop here. I bought a new wallet. And then under the highway through this tunnel and you come out in the gardens. You take the stroll to the end of the walkway where the tea house sits in Hendry Park. Of course you can walk around this park before or after your tea time to explore the gardens. What a lovely outing for the day, wouldn't you agree? The tea house itself is quite nice. I love the wallpaper and find it to be perfectly appointed for the garden tea. It was very busy on this day, so I did not take much video of the room itself, avoiding people's faces. But this venue is the good aspect of afternoon tea here in my books. The bad, nothing here is particularly bad. This is probably my fourth time coming here for tea in the past couple of years, and the service is generally very minimal. Today's service was a bit better than usual, but they definitely keep their staff numbers low, so don't expect gold standard service here. The ugly, they serve the Scone brand of tea here. Of course they do. As mentioned in some other recent reviews, I am tired of seeing this tea brand. I ordered the Earl Grey, and my tea friend chose the Heavenly Cream. The ugly was that I removed the mirrored teapot cover because I don't want my own reflection to show. And the white teapots below the covers were very dirty, stained, and quite off-putting. So, avoid this tea time tragedy. Keep your silver cover in place. On to the food. Each guest received 4 savories, a cucumber cream cheese, a chicken tikka, a smoked trout rillette, and a prosciutto brie toast. My trout was swapped out for a second cucumber Sammy because I don't eat seafood because I don't like seafood. The sandwiches were fine. The bread was a bit dry, and I think the fillings could have been a little more substantial. My favorite savory was the brie toast. For scones, we each received 2 scones. You know I love seeing that. One was a plain scone and one was a citrus scone, I think. They were served with shared pots of lemon curd, clotted cream, and strawberry jam. My tea friend asked the server about the clotted cream, and the staff checked with the kitchen and let us know they are making it using heavy creamed, cooked low for hours. This sounds like the authentic process, and it also tasted like it was made correctly. We were both happy to have it. The scones were quite good. I was here almost exactly 1 year ago, and the scones were not this good, and they were not serving proper clotted cream. So improvements have been made. Love to see it. I'll add the video clip from last year about the scones so you can see the improvements. Kudos! On to the sweets. We each received 3 items, a blueberry cake, a butterscotch tart, and a macaron. We weren't given forks to eat this cake, which was surprising to me. Were we expected to use our teaspoons on this cake? No. Once securing some forks, the cakes had a nice, dense texture and flavor, but it did not work for afternoon tea. Much too messy. Tea queens like us do not enjoy this level of mess, but it did taste good. The tart was decent, but neither my tea friend nor I like macarons, so that was a throwaway item. The sweets could still use some improvements here. It was nice to see some fresh fruit on these tiers, as that's not always included in afternoon tea these days. For the yummy, I'd say my favorite bites were the scone with the proper accompaniments. I love when the scone is my favorite part of afternoon tea. Hip hip hooray! This afternoon tea was priced at $38 per person, which is $1 less than last year. This is a good price for the amount and quality of food served in this venue. I would personally prefer to pay a little bit more, maybe $42 to $44, and receive an additional savory item and better sweets. Maybe either a 4th item if you've got to keep the macarons, such as a luxurious and rich chocolate item. But that's just me, and they probably know their client base enough to know what draws them in, which might be the lower price for all I know. For the entire afternoon tea experience with the Botanical Garden backdrop, my Queen of Afternoon Tea rating is 3.5 stars out of 5 stars. With the improvements to the scone tier, maybe up to 4 stars. I would certainly recommend you try this Ontario tea room. Have you been to the Royal Botanical Gardens for afternoon tea yet? Leave your impressions in the comments below, and please follow and subscribe to my channels to help support my tea obsession and these reviews. I appreciate you watching until the end. Here's that clip from last year so you can see the improvements. The scones were served with lemon cream, whipped cream, and marmalade. Real clotted cream should be served at this venue, so I was quite disappointed not seeing it here. We couldn't get the attention of a server. My tea guest went and got us 3 spoons for the accompaniments, because how are we supposed to maneuver sharing these portions without them? Anyway, back to the scones. So the supposed chocolate banana scone was in fact a cinnamon scone. No chocolate, no banana, all the cinnamon. It was very dry, and even though I love cinnamon, this scone was not good. The apparent tea-flavored scone just tasted like a plain scone. It wasn't as dry, and it tasted decent.